Hi, I'm Dan Cortopassi. Welcome to another episode of Dan's Backshop. I thought maybe it was time we took another look at my workbench and see what's been going on. This might look like a little bit of a mess, but I'm in the process of reorganizing my supply of detail parts. For a lot of years I used this cardboard box and I made some dividers and I had all the detail parts kind of lined up in it and semi-organized. So back when I was doing YouTube at a different channel, I would take a stack of parts and trains and all kinds of other stuff with me twice a week. I used to have to actually use a hand truck to take it all. And because of that, a lot of my detail parts ended up getting shoved into all these different boxes. So my initial organization using the cardboard box kind of fell apart. And I've ended up with all these different stashes of detail parts in all these different boxes, and it gets really hard to find anything. So I've been trying to reorganize so that I can keep everything together, like all of the air horns in one place and all of the bells in one place and so on, so that when I need a part I can find it easier. I picked up some cases like these at the local home improvement store, and I've been using these to kind of organize my parts. This one is full of Kato couplers. It's pretty nice. They've got little bins inside, and it's got a nice plastic lid so you can see what's in it. And I think once I get everything organized, I think this will work better. So what do we got in here? We got drop steps, exhaust stacks. Boy, this doesn't make any sense. I need to organize this for sure. Air vents. So this is kind of a mishmash. I'm trying to organize things so that it makes sense, like, maybe all of the parts that pertain to pilots in one place and all of the parts that, pertain to the cab roof in one place, etc. I do tend to probably overbuy so that I have more parts than I actually need. But I kind of do that on purpose because I don't like to have to stop in the middle of a project and go order something or have to go to a hobby shop and buy something. So I try to keep a little bit of an inventory on hand. So unfortunately, most of the models that I showed last time that were unfinished are still unfinished. That includes this one. When I got the Scale Trains GP30, the Rio Grande GP30 that I just reviewed, I remembered I also had this older Proto 2000 model, which is actually still a pretty nice model. The only problem with it is that the nose headlight isn't really correct. So I did have a spare Proto 2000 shell, and I stole the nose off of that one and redid the headlight. So my plan is to paint this up and then replace the nose that's on here with this and hopefully not have to repaint the entire model. So the Cotton Belt GP35 that I showed last time is pretty much in exactly the same shape it was before. And of course, instead of working on that one, I started two more. These are going to be SP units. These were actually a pair of Kato GP35s that were kind of basket cases that I got on eBay. And so I've been kind of rehabbing them and in the process of turning them into SP units. So I don't think I showed this one last time. This is another model that's been kind of a work in progress for a really long time. This is an Athearn Genesis SD70M, painted as an electromotive lease unit. This is one of the older Genesis models that wasn't very detailed out of the factory, and I've done a lot of work to it, and it's already got the DCC and sound and everything installed and lights. The main thing that's left is handrails, which right now I have the plastic handrails on it, but they're really not very good, so I'm going to change them. This GP15-1 was already here last time too, and I haven't done too much more with it. However, I have bent up some brass handrails because I want to replace the handrails on this one as well. So people have been after me to do a handrail video, so I think that's what I'm going to end up doing with this one and the SD70M and maybe a couple more. So this is a little N-scale Bachmann 280 that I had on my shelf last time. I recently painted it, and because it hasn't really been painted. I mean, the engine was painted, but it wasn't numbered, and the tender needed to be repainted. So it's now North Coast number 218. I also changed the tender to an oil burner, and it already had DCC and sound, but I installed a capacitor circuit to keep it running over uneven track. And it still has a couple of issues. It has a couple of, the drive wheels are narrowing gauge, and it needs a working front coupler. But once those things are handled, I intend to use it on the Siren Creek. While I was in the process of redoing the tender, I also installed a working backup light, which is something it didn't have before. This HO scale Proto 2000 060 is another one that I painted for my fictitious North Coast. You might recognize it from my most recent episode of DCC Shop. But this engine is now finished, and this was, I think, still on the workbench the last time I did a Dan's Workshop episode. That'll do it for now. Next week we'll be back with another box of the month, and after that we'll have some product reviews and a few other things. If you like this video, then please like and subscribe. Stay tuned and thanks for watching.